welcome back. Today is May 30th, the last day in May. Christmas, I think, is 209 days away. Let's see. Wow. I'm here with Art. We may have some guys log in later, may not. Doesn't matter. Plenty to talk about. I saw some cool stuff come in today all week about AI, but there's a robot thing we might want to talk about. But let's kick it off, Art. What's going on in the industry?
I would have to say another slow week in the industry, at least for
Yep.
copiers. Not a lot coming across. Some manufacturers, got awards. Xerox, Konica Minolta, um, NVIDIA announced a Google partnership.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
That
know
was
if you
day
saw that,
before
right?
yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. NVIDIA is
Um,
the big, huge gorilla in the world right now. Yep. Yep.
Seeing if there's
Well, I
there might
heard,
be just hold on. There just might be one more before. Oh, ConnectWise confirms Screen Connect cyber attack,
yeah, I remember that. And
and I think otherwise that's about it for the news in the copier industry. Not a lot
yeah,
of
I mean,
news.
Kyocera, I think, released their earnings. It was pretty good, relative, right? But HP did theirs too not that long ago. Listen, it's their print business fell, I think, 7% or something like that. It Xerox is still struggling, but trying to change. They're fighting. It is typical standard stuff. Nothing is moving fast, and if it's moving in any direction, it's in the wrong direction, and it's thank goodness it's slow. That's all I gotta say. If you're gonna look at the OEMs, but I think we've talked about it before. The independents have the leg up in this environment right now. They can move from one thing to another,
Correct. Yep.
shrink, grow. I think.
I
What do you
think
think
so.
about the megas though? You know, I wonder if.
Well, I know personally for me, it's been. I was thinking earlier today. It almost throws me back to the times of COVID, where there was a lot of uncertainty and you wasn't sure what the hell was going on. And if you follow the news, you find out, okay, Trump went ahead with his tariffs and then he was going to lower the tariffs. Then the court comes in and the court says, okay, well, we're going to knock you down. You can't do anything. Then an appeals court upholds it. And I'm going, this is starting to get freaking mind-boggling. I said to my wife today, I go, why? You know, it's they're trying to do good for the country.
Right.
Why are people fighting this tooth and nail?
Huh. Well, we can all go. I can go on for hours on that
Well,
subject.
yeah, we you
Yeah.
know we know exactly why they just don't want to give the man any wins.
Well, that and they don't want to lose all their gravy train for the last 4 decades. I mean,
Correct.
uh, bureaucracy. When you want to cut bureaucracy, who gets upset? The bureaucrats. Doesn't matter if they're making $1 million or not. They just don't want to lose their government job.
Their gravy train.
The gravy train. I
And
know.
there's a lot of
Um,
gravy trains out there.
well, just look at the last administration, the last 30 days. I think they gave away, I don't know, $400 billion to a bunch of different groups. Earl,
Look who's here.
What's up, guys?
Long
not
time no
much, dude.
smell.
Yeah, no kidding, man. What's
How's
new?
Chi Town?
It's good, man. It's good. Things are turning for the better.
Yeah, we
So,
were we were just talking about we start off with a little bit about updates on the copier industry and what's going on. And actually, since Memorial Day, there hasn't been a lot going on this week. No big announcements, nothing new.
Oh, it was a short
So
week, too.
we're trying to make a transition into talking about something else. But since you're on the show, maybe you've got any interesting things that happened since Memorial Day.
since Memorial Day, not really. Not really, man. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
I just been so focused, to be honest, with staying busy. I've kind of like blocked myself out. I haven't been on really LinkedIn too much and um
I
Just
did
trying to
see
get deals.
I did see a pretty amazing swing on Facebook though.
Swing?
Yeah, golf swing.
Yeah, whose swing was that? Was that
I
mine?
thought that was you. Yeah, pretty sure it was you. Were
Really?
you golfing in the last week or 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it was probably on. I probably caught up on Facebook a little late on that swing.
Oh, that wasn't my swing. It was somebody else's. I
Oh,
definitely wouldn't claim that swing. I don't want that one.
alrighty then.
Well, hey, so Earl, you're like my barometer in the Midwest,
Yeah,
Chicagoland.
yeah.
What's the business temp like? What's cracking? What's not cracking?
I mean, the first quarter was flat, for us, we were kind of flat. And then all of a sudden, man, it just kind of the floodgates just opened up. I was like, what the heck? The first quarter for us, because we had a good year, another good year for us. But then the
Mm,
first quarter, I'm thinking, man, what the heck happened?
mm,
And and then just recently, just poured on, which is awesome. But you know, the cycle of business, right? Sometimes
right.
you find yourself working more and harder, and you see less in the short term. And then it takes 90 to 120 days for that hard work to really pay off.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I had a great first quarter over plan. Um, May, March, April was so-so, 50%. I had a vacation President's Club in May. We had Memorial Day. I pulled a
Yes.
goose egg in May. But already I've got 4 orders in for June. So, like I say, the as long as you work hard, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring you.
Yeah. Something, you know what? Something always happens, right? Positive way.
As long as you work.
As long as you work. And the thing with most reps, they can't, for us, we've been in the game we get it, you got to kind of stay even throughout, you're going to have those peaks and valleys emotionally, right? You start to question
Yep.
what the heck is going on,
What am I
is it,
doing wrong?
What am I
Right?
yeah,
doing
I
wrong?
mean,
This
Am I
what
listen,
doing
am I
something
doing?
wrong? I've
yeah,
been
yeah. Like one day,
It's true.
not to brag, but I rarely lose deals. Like if I'm in a deal, I more times than not, I get the deal, right? One day I lost like three in one day. I was getting called. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Three deals. But you know what? Scratch it off, brush the knees off, and you just got to keep going, and just go find more opportunities, keep the funnel full, and stay focused. But yeah, there's times I wonder what the hell is going on. Like, I mean, do I have a funk going on or something?
right.
But it's all good.
Yeah.
It's back to how I like it.
Just keep going. That's all. Well, Earl, would you say that not your business, but in general, is the temperature tepid? Is it warm? Is it like because Art was just saying like everyone's still kind of he's almost getting COVID delayed stress
Mm,
because of the economic uncertainties of everything, right? I mean, crying out loud.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I I imagine everyone's tentative a little bit, right?
You know, I was saying that the first quarter, or 2 months ago, I was kind of thinking, okay, what the heck's going on?
Hmm.
But from what I understand, everyone in the Midwest, I know for the Xerox side, I think they're doing okay, from what I understand. But I kind of put that stuff to the side, and I'm just focusing on, okay,
Right.
what am I missing here? How do I get better? Am I you know, assuming too much, or am I skipping parts in my process that I normally wouldn't? Like I'm just getting like, hey, let's just go, but I'm missing a few pieces,
Mm.
causing me not to get that business. So I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, I can't skip the pieces anymore. I need to be more creative. I recreated a whole proposal format, updated that. I've been using the same one for past 5 or 6 years. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, maybe it's my proposal format. So I dove into that. I shaved my freaking beard off,
Uh,
said, it's that. I don't know, but I got to figure this out. And, it's coming around.
Well, I'll
So,
tell you what, Earl. I don't want to burst, blow you up here, but that's a mentality, dude.
yeah,
So there, I didn't hear any blame in there. I heard a lot of look in the mirror. What am I doing? Right?
yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't the tariffs. It doesn't matter. It wasn't the weather. It doesn't matter. It was okay. What do I do? And
yeah,
honestly, it may not. Right? I mean, we don't. It's like you really don't know. So you
yeah,
got to try. You got to do stuff.
yeah,
I think of it,
right.
and I hate athletic analogies, but it is. If a
Yeah.
baseball player gets in a slump, right? You don't blame the pitcher's pitching at you. He's doing a job. You don't blame the umpires. You figure out what the heck. And it
right.
might just be one of those goofy things
What am I doing
that
wrong?
nature, yeah,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Or it might be that you've dropped your shoulder more than you should,
Mhm.
whatever it is. But you
yeah,
got to look at it yourself. And, I think that's one of the coolest things about our little niche, right? I mean, there aren't too many people out there that blame.
yeah,
I
No.
don't, am I right, Art? I don't, golly, I mean, come to think of it.
If I'm going bad, I look back at myself. I
Yeah.
blame myself. I'm like Earl. I go back and say, okay, maybe I need to change a little bit, right? And make those changes and see what happens. I'll give you a story from earlier. So actually, 2 weeks ago, we had planned for Tuesday a DocuWare virtual demo for our clients, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm motivated by money, and they had some cash built into this. For every customer you got on board, you got X amount of dollars for the demo.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to attack this? Am I going to do it via phone call? I mean, I, I want to call 100 people. Um, I'm probably not going to get through to them. So I go, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out personalized emails. All right. And I picked out 100 accounts. And with that, of course, I know they're all existing accounts that I'm working on, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I know what industry they're in. And I went back to ChatGPT
No, did you really do that?
and I just typed in the header. I'd like to invite you to a virtual DocuWare demonstration that we're having. It's a lunch and learn. Of course, they're going to get a $25 card. What do they call it?
Starbucks card or something?
Yeah, something like that. They
All right.
get a card for
Gift
lunch,
card.
right? But I built AI into it, and I go with AI. Okay, so for each industry that I'm looking to get the appointment with, tell me how DocuWare, give me 5 bullet points on how it's going to benefit that customer in this industry.
So you went right to that customer, right? I mean
E-
that in that.
Personalized emails. It wasn't blast email. It was a personalized email for every single one. So I mean, it took the better part of a day to maybe 2 days to get it done.
Was it for 100?
100, yes, right. But I got two that said that date wouldn't work for them, but I got two that registered. Okay, and two that were on the demo. My point is that out of all the other reps who did this, I had two. Two other reps had one each. We had 4 people on the call.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm going, God, if every single rep would have personalized 100 emails and we've got 15 reps, right? My percentage was 2% out
Well,
of the 100
technically you
emails.
had a 4% return because you had two who couldn't show up and
Correct.
two who
But
did. So
right, but I'm just looking at the 2%
closing. Okay. So you
who
had a
did show
2%
up.
close. All right.
So if every rep would have sent it the way
30.
I sent it, we could have had 30 people
30.
on the call. Now, if your closing ratio is going to be let's say 2%, you would probably close 6 out of that 30. If your closing rate is 2%, how many are you going to close out of 4? Not one?
Well, if your closing rate is as good as Earl's,
Not
In
lately.
in any in any event, I used AI to help me. I believe it helped me because I wouldn't have gotten those demos on phone
preach,
calls.
brother.
And I actually put something on my site about that. But with using AI,
Yeah,
and that was a lesson learned that the next time this comes up, I'm going to do the same thing.
yeah, that's great. Earl, you're in the church. What are you doing with any ChatGPT or stuff you're doing? Anything?
A little bit,
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
starting to play with it and see,
That's
I kind of dig it, to be honest, It's like this is some cool stuff.
you get.
Powerful.
Have you
You
done the
have the pay
voice thing?
version.
If you do the voice thing, it's scary.
I need to try that. I
Oh my
personally
God.
haven't done that. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
need to try
beyond
that.
copiers, beyond what we're talking about, you just start talking with that dang thing, and the more you communicate with it, the better it gets.
Hmm.
Like not in months, in hours. It's
Hmm.
like, whoa, they can tell I've been talking to it. But that's what's freaking people out is that side of it. And it gets better every 30, 60 days. It's
Yep.
Wow.
nuts. It is.
Earl, do you have the pay version?
I just signed up for it
Oh,
I think this week.
So
It's
it's
like
gonna,
20
it's
bucks
going,
a month or something
it's
like
$20
yeah,
that.
a month, dude.
it's going to remember everything.
Hmm.
It is. It's freakish because I got in like last February. It was released in December or whatever. But it pulls things out that you forget. You forgot. I've forgotten, and I'll be asking it something about today, and it'll pull something. Wait a minute. That how did you what? Where did you get that
Uh,
from? And it's
hmm.
from way back.
Hmm.
It's like holy cow.
Previous prompts that you put into it today, I
Previous
just used it.
prompts and the answers that it gave you because of that prompt and how it's relevant to the prompt I just prompted. It's nuts. But anyway,
Slick. It really is nice. It's amazing.
yeah, the
To,
talking thing is crazy because you can, hey, act as though you're Tom Clancy and tell me how you wrote the book Hunt for Red October. I mean, crap like that, and then boop, 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 boop. It's like, oh, well, that's
Hmm.
cool. And it keeps going. I mean, it's freakishly scary. And now it's at that point because it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
I mean, Earl, we got people out there using it as a therapist, a
Hmm.
real live therapist. And there are use cases where people didn't commit suicide because they
Hmm.
were able to, quote, talk to this thing.
Hmm.
I mean, okay, tell me a better use case.
Yeah.
No copier in the world is going to stop someone from committing suicide,
Right.
right? I don't.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe we can do that.
Come on now, we're changing the world.
That's
We're
right.
changing the world, baby.
One click at a time.
I used uh I used ChatGPT today for an existing client who wanted to see the difference between an A4 and an A3 machine.
Specs or pricing or what?
Specs, basically specs, pricing, maintenance,
Okay.
a
Cost
lot
of
of different
ownership.
things.
Yeah.
And I put my one paragraph into ChatGPT, and I told it to give me a quick side by side.
Yeah.
I had my side by side in 10 seconds.
It's
I had to go back and ask it a couple times because it thought one machine wasn't a color machine when it was. And I said, no, the C401 is a color machine. And it got it back to me. And again, I've talked about this all the time. It literally saved me almost an hour's worth of work just from going through the brochures, right? Looking at the specs and then typing everything in.
right. That hurts. That hurts the BLI. Don't those guys have that whole comparison function in their database or something? Yeah.
It
I used to
it
run the BLI report to get a 5-column
it, it,
comparison.
it can as long as reps are using it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the great thing about the LLM is like I don't need, you know, all 30,000 spec sheets on every single copier ever made in the history of man. I just need what I need right now for these 3. Can you do
Right.
it? And boom, there you go. And I don't
Right.
have to pay 180 or $500 a month to have that quote unquote service, which opens up a whole nother can of worms, dude. There is a big shift coming when it comes to services like that, all the way into like even ECI and CRMs and ERPs and all that stuff. It's the SAS world is just shaking right now because Earl, you could have one. Art, you could have one. I could have one. We can all have our own little CRM that's for us, not for 50 million other people and us. Ugh. Anyway, it's an exciting time to
Yeah.
be, dude.
I want to show you this. I'm going
Oh,
to show you this, what it did in a matter of seconds for me.
okay. I want to show you guys something too. We're talking about it.
Should come up shortly.
Do it.
Seen it?
There you go. Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
That's the email.
Yes.
Damn. That's
Holy
cool.
cow. That came from ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Wow. It's really cool.
Jeez, sorry.
And it even gave me the recommendation of 1117 printing, lowering operation costs and future expansion are important. 2510 is a stronger long-term option. But if you're proprietary, yeah, I got it. Well, all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're interested more in speed and a compact footprint, the 4010 works better.
Okay.
Changing with the times, Art.
Well, you have to,
Jeez,
man.
Art. Yeah.
Look at that. Embracing technology.
Yeah, you know what? I take it
Go
this
figure.
way. If I'm not using it, somebody else is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you there aren't that many people in our little niche doing it like that, Art. I've never seen anyone else do it like that. Right? I mean, I'm sure there are, but I've not. I mean,
I'm just now starting to see more threads on LinkedIn
well,
using ChatGPT with the emojis and some other items on there.
it's funny you mention that. It's getting to the point where we can tell. By
Yeah.
we, I mean it's almost the general public. I can tell
Yeah.
that that's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So that's one zig. There's another zag coming. It'll be not that not that far in the future when we won't be able to tell. Right? There's going to be.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
actually doing it myself as I start to realign because I have like 6 or 7 newsletters. They're all in the same basic format with different personas writing them. But as I look at it, I'm going, well, this sentence structure is the same as that sentence. So now I'm starting to dive into, okay, well, tell me how I can make these guys talk differently than those guys.
Right.
And it knows it. So if you ask it what kind of style it's working in, it'll tell you exactly what kind of style, where it got that style from. It's like, wow, okay. Well, screw all that. Let's do it a different way. And then it starts to mix it up.
Make it a little bit more unique for the
Yeah.
persona.
And what I like is, Earl, you might be able to just go when you write a letter to someone in the olden days, you would actually write a letter, right? I mean, and then run it through maybe Microsoft Word's grammatics and spell check and all that. But it essentially, when you wrote those organically, that was a reflection of you and your personality. It really
Right.
was, right?
Right.
So
Right.
the key is to grab all the content that you created on your own and let ChatGPT or any of the LLMs digest that and then tell you what your style is,
Hmm.
and then you tell it to learn from that style.
Oh, that's a good point. I like
Yeah.
that. I like
It's
that.
and then, from now on, whenever I ask you for an email or whenever I ask you for something, use that style. We'll call it
Hmm.
Earl's style or Earl's voice to create that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good
And
point.
yeah.
I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start playing with that and creating. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'll tell you what, Earl. I mean, I know Art. I know you. You'll bite that. 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to be crazy at it. You're going to be good at it. It's going to be like, yep. Because it's
Yeah.
that curiosity,
Yeah.
right? And it's that ability to go in, well, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. That whole thing. And
Yeah.
those are the ones who really thrive at these LLMs.
That's
And,
cool.
and when I think about it, most people have that curiosity, even your cube rats and people that are, clerks, or I don't mean to disparage them, but their world is pretty much moved this pile to that pile. There's curiosity in their head that's been
Yeah.
buried for decades of bullshit 9 to 5 work. This little $20 a month thing unleashes that.
Hmm.
Wow.
That's cool.
Write that down. That was good.
I like that.
So Earl, what
Hey,
do you think?
go ahead.
What do you think of our new venture with the robot?
Which one?
The cricket.
Cricket? You haven't read
Yeah,
about
well,
it?
we're building a robot that'll service copiers.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So is it hard to find
I,
technicians?
I've been out of touch, guys. I've been out of
Okay.
touch. So
Yeah, when was the last time you had to hire a new tech?
2 years ago, it's my most recent.
Do you think you'll ever have to hire another one?
Oh, of course.
That's where we're going with this.
Mhm.
This is big picture, dude. This is like moonshot stuff.
Yeah,
But
this is tip of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg. We firmly believe that the future of the copier industry isn't isn't in print. It's going to be in service and support for robots and humanoids. And somebody's got to start the industry off on the right foot. So we started, and we're going to start with a little 2-foot robot, right? And we're going to train its brain on like on one of your Xerox copy machines, and we're going to feed it all of the um, tech manuals, right? For one model, right? And then we're going to have that robot actually, and again, it's a proof of concept. We want to have it go tell the robot to go get a staple cartridge and bring it to the copier. Go get a toner cartridge and bring it to the copier. Go get a waste container toner and bring it to the copier, right? Since our robot's going to be not big and pretty inexpensive, the proof of concept is that you can talk to the robot and you can tell the robot to do this. And as more dealers get involved in this, they can build more efficient robots or humanoids to someday actually do a repair in an enterprise location for copiers.
Hmm.
so the proof of concept, Earl, it's good that we run this by you because we want to hear your critical opinion of it. Is the robot's only 2 or 3 feet tall, but it'll visually be able to discern between object A. We assign that as a print cartridge or a stapler card. Object B, C, it knows the difference. And when we tell it to go do something, it knows instead of going to object A, which is a staple cartridge thing, it goes to object C, which is a quote, a ream of paper, and takes it to the location. And instead of placing it high or where a staple cartridge would go, it places it low. So it takes some vision, but the concept's there. This is a robot with vision. I think we decided to go with the LiDAR.
Yeah, the LiDAR.
Knows the room that it's walking through. and voice command. It has an NVIDIA, I forget whichever NVIDIA chip on the back of it. And it has an LLM built in.
Right.
So you can talk to it and like you're just branching into what LLMs can do. This thing can do all that. And again, we know it's just beginning. It's a floor plan. It's a 10 by 10 space, 10 foot by 10 foot space that's going to walk around. But the concept is there and that we're just baby stepping it in to the industry. Hopefully, so people will talk about it and say, okay, it's got this, but what about this? What about this?
Right.
On the other side, Earl, not many people know this. I'm contacting as many humanoid, robot, and android manufacturers in the States that I can. And the goal there is, all right, we get the robot talk, but they know how to build them. They don't know how to sell them. It's a classic story, dude. They don't know,
Hmm.
how to put hardware, software, service, soft costs all in one lease.
Hmm.
They don't. Nobody knows that.
Yeah.
We
Hmm.
know how to do it. So anyway, I mean, this is the very, 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 very beginning, and the POC will be done in November. But yeah, I mean, I know it's a lot to hit you with. What's your initial thought there? Does that sound goofy or what?
My first reaction is kind of like there's just so many variables in every office. Not that it can't be done. I'm sure it can be done, but with all the variables, let's say a robot goes out, replaces a drum unit. Is that robot going to be able to see whether that drum unit fixed it or didn't fix it? And on top of that, because as you know, especially Art, you are a tech too, right?
Yeah.
Is that troubleshooting. Sometimes a lot of the troubleshooting isn't in that tech guide, right? It's a staple fell through here and got stuck, or a paper clip is over here, or a piece of paper got over there, right? I mean,
Mhm.
so as a tech side, you're looking like 360 degrees as you're trying to troubleshoot a product. Yeah, there's those standard consumable replacements. I get that, but then for the other repairs, I don't know. I'm just thinking
No,
out
no, no, no,
loud.
no, no.
Tony.
No,
Keep
no.
going. You're right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Our main thought behind this is a robot that's going to take the mundane tasks away from dealers in enterprise locations. And that would be the mundane calls that you have to send a service tech on site for something simple, whether it's I can't get the toner cartridge in the machine. I don't know how to put staples in the machine. I can't tell you how many calls I get for we have this waste toner container. I don't know where it goes. And the customer doesn't want to look at the manual or something like that. Or my screen now has a glitch on it. We're probably years away from something like that, Earl. But
Yeah.
again, the big picture for us is at some point in time, print is going to go away.
So
S-
here's the thing. Okay, so I think one concept that would work would be is depending on the cost of a robot, right? I have no idea what this
They're,
is,
they're,
but
they're anywhere from 8 to 15 to 20 grand right now. That's the target price they're looking at.
all right. But if you had one at each location, like let's say a larger company
Mm-hmm.
that knew the scope, the layout of the office, could retrieve documents for employees, take it back to their desk, they
Yep.
know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I don't. I like your skepticism, and you're the second person to bring documents back from the printer. All right, isn't that interesting? Hey,
We got another Earl.
we got two
Hey,
Earls.
how you doing?
So anyway, hey, I need to I gotta run, guys. I just had
All right, Earl Everson,
I
let me
was,
ask you one quick question.
yeah.
What software are you using for your video? Because I noticed it followed your face around the camera.
Which video?
What you're using right now?
This is just my
Nothing?
laptop. Hmm.
Really?
No, this is my regular backdrop.
Right. No, but I mean by your face, it was zooming. It's scanned, like it's doing it right
Yeah,
there. Did you see that, Art?
Yeah, I
Oh
saw it.
yeah.
it followed you I got a
Huh.
buddy on another Zoom call. When he moves, it tracks him. So he uses an iPad.
No,
Oh,
this is a ThinkPad that I'm using.
That's what, yeah.
But maybe there's a setting on my Zoom that I select. I don't know, to
oh,
be
it's
honest.
really
But
good, Earl. It's good. Don't
oh
change it.
really?
Yeah,
Huh. Okay.
good for
Well, there you
you.
go.
All
There
right.
you go.
Good
Yeah,
question.
sorry guys. I have a customer that just called me and they need toner on a Friday, of course. So
Of course.
Bye
let me put
bye.
on my Superman cape and I got to run out the door.
All right,
Bye
Earl. Thank you,
bye.
Earl.
Hey
Thanks,
guys,
Earl. I
thanks a
appreciate it.
lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
So
Next up, Earl.
hello, Earl.
Hey, how you guys been doing?
We're
Good.
doing
How are you,
well.
my friend?
I was on another call and just got off, and then I figured, and
Earl, do you know
Yeah.
Greg Walters at all?
yeah, we've talked over some different times over the years.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So I follow, all the bourbon stuff and different things that, we've talked that a few times, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Well, I mean, if that's what Fridays are with Art, it's like
yeah,
he smokes a cigar and
yeah,
I get a little bourbon.
there you go.
Oh,
Blue corn.
Blue corn. Now, now you did it. Um, I've heard of that. I haven't
Yeah.
had it, but I've heard
It,
actually that label.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because
Bluegrass
I have,
distillers.
yeah, I'm in, no, I don't have it. In Wisconsin, I'm working with a distillery that uses the red corn,
Mm.
right? So,
Austin Steel is doing a red corn too.
yeah, these guys started in red corn.
Okay.
So it's always been red corn. And,
Okay.
and they're a family. They're they are true blue, grain to glass, everything. The corn is grown on the farm. All the
Yeah.
ingredients are grown on the farm. They do send it out to be distilled, but it's still in the state. Comes back, it's aged on the farm and it's bottled on the farm. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's
So
these guys here, the Bluegrass Distillers,
yeah.
Midway, Kentucky. They actually got a farm. They raise their own blue corn, so it's very limited. And I got an email, and of course, we're always out of town when it hits. And it's the first time they've done a 7 year.
Oh well, yeah, yeah.
So they released it, and so I called Ben, my son, my youngest son that does the bourbon, and I said,
Oh,
"Hey, where you at?" And he drove straight out there to the farm, and he got out there, and they had sold out by the time he got there. But one of the workers are there, and he said, "Man, he goes, actually, I had a bottle set back for myself." He says, "Here, I'll sell it to you," and he sold it to him like that, so he got it for me. But it's probably some of the smoothest bourbon
I
I've
was going
had.
to ask. So it's 7 year old.
Yep.
Forgive me, Art. Let me take this rabbit hole.
No, hey.
So it's 7 year old
Yeah,
blue corn,
blue
right?
corn.
And I saw it said Tennessee. So is it sour mash or is it?
It's
Kentucky. I'm sorry, not
yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah, yeah.
My bad. Okay. All right.
Kentucky's only bourbon. I'm just joking.
I
It's Kentucky straight bourbon. Yeah, 75% blue corn, 21% wheat, and 4% malted barley.
okay. So it's a little weeded. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of it?
It's really good. Even Renee, first time I opened it, the smell, and you take a sip of it, it is so smooth.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good. So now, of course, I've been looking for they had a 6 year, which of course it sold out too. But I'm on the look to try to find some more. Of course, you find something you really like.
Yeah. Well, to extend on that, I have a little side gig that's turning into a really big gig. Is I'm exporting bourbon into Taiwan.
Oh wow.
Our first shipment, because of the tariffs,
Yeah.
all shipping stopped. It's been sitting in the Taipei Bay for 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh
It
wow.
finally landed on the ground like yesterday.
Wow.
So yeah, Taiwan's a very interesting market.
Oh,
Right?
I bet. I
No,
bet.
it's all Scotch, no bourbon. Well,
Oh
while
wow.
everyone else is going to the EU and Ireland and UK, we're
Yeah.
going there. So, and that's
That's
why and those
awesome.
the J. Henry guys from Wisconsin are buddies of mine. So I know I'm gonna say, yeah, let's go do
Okay.
Taiwan. Yeah.
That's great. Now, so the bourbon, the red corn bourbon in Wisconsin, what is it then?
It's J. Henry.
It's okay.
J.
So I can
Henry.
look that up then. Okay.
Yeah, look it up. They're like, and I'm sure your guy from the blue corn from Kentucky say the same. The little local guys are hunkering down because of the bubble. The bourbon bubble is huge, and these guys really want to concentrate on local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can get an extra, I don't know, container worth of bourbon to go somewhere else, they'll sell it, right? And,
Oh yeah.
my buddies, we just do it. Well, they don't. All they got to do is ship it out. They don't even have to ship it out. They just got to get it at a dock, and we pick it up and send it. But we're not going to Europe. We're not going to where everyone else is going because that's crazy. Not even Canada. We don't even want to go to Canada.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway.
Now, my youngest son, Ben, that you guys have met I think a couple times on the call and stuff like that, he has a bourbon channel and everything on YouTube. I mean, he was sponsored and everything. But man, he's my bourbon guy. I always joke about it. It's like that. I mean, he's just a detail, but his taste buds are just, I mean, is so unique compared to mine. But we've got to go on some Buffalo Trace picks and some things like that with some people he knows and things like that. So it's really cool. So,
Well, that's cool. That's good. Cool. So what's new in the copier industry?
so yeah, back to that.
Uh-huh.
Drinking and smoking cigars. But right now it's like Caton's going really good for us. We signed Caton.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's going really good for us. We're with Konica. We've been Konica for years. That's still going okay. We're waiting on the new contract. Everybody's been hearing about the new contract. So
Right.
we're just waiting to get hit to sign hit. I mean, everybody's talking about it, but I said, really? I said, they can get rid of you anytime they want to anyway if they want to. Don't matter what vendor, don't matter what
It
manufacturer.
doesn't matter. That's right. It's like,
That's
oh,
true.
okay. But I
Yeah.
remember, okay.
Yeah, so everybody talks about that, so that's not a big deal to us. Like, yeah, their pricing they went up, but not as bad as other people. They all said it, so it's kind of neat. Instead of doing, for example, a 7% across the board, they done 5% on some things, 7 on some, 9 on some. So they kind of all set stuff. So production print they went up 4 on, but versus their regular everyday stuff, they didn't go as much on. And then like their parts and supplies, they didn't go up any on. They went up just machines.
Rico did something similar where
Really?
certain staple machines didn't go up at all.
Yep.
But on some of the machines that weren't, I guess, quick movers,
Yep.
they raised those prices a little bit higher.
Yep. That's how Konica does. So
Right, instead of flat across the board for everything.
yep.
So
Do you,
that's interesting.
do you
Yep.
think it was because of analysis on the cost side, or did they actually look at it on the demand side? Like these things aren't moving, so let's do
I
this.
think it's a little combination of both because the way
Okay.
that our meeting went with them, that's a lot of it, kind of way they talked about it.
Oh,
So that was real interested with it. It's like, yeah. But yeah, that's been going really good. I mean, we've already hit. I mean, our numbers already we're way ahead of the schedule. So, have finally got a real good sales team. Everybody's working hard. I mean, between the copier side and our water side is now within not even about 15 months is 35% of our business now.
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It
Wow.
is crazy. I mean, we have put the machines out. I mean, it's just a wide open market. And as Renee says, it's a fun market. It's more fun than copiers.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So that's what she said. When you talk to people about water and ice, they get excited. So, but yeah, it's going really good. So the boys are doing great. Both of our boys came on. They've been going over a little over a year now, and that's where majority of the growth.
wow.
They've had a good instructor. Mom is she's a great salesperson. So but yeah, so we've got a water guy that's pure water. He just does the water side, and he has been putting out probably 3 to 4 machines a week. And yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he has just been
Wow.
getting demos, and so we hired another water person for the Northern Territory last week.
Right.
So yeah, so hopefully keep growing on that, and then the copier side, it's hard. I mean, sales is not for everybody. I mean, I tell people, people think they can do it until they get out there and they hear 3,000 no's. Then they find out that it's not for them.
Very
Wow.
true. I met a dealer principal probably about 10 years ago in Roanoke, Virginia. His name is Paul Story. And at that time, he was in his early 80s. And he ran Blue Ridge copiers, right? And then he had a water business also. And the water business was doing just as well as his copier business.
Yep.
And he just said, and it made me think, maybe I should have gotten into water 20 years ago.
You've said that to me, Art. You've said that.
I did.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We talked about it for 2 or 3 years, and then it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to get it. Me being the service side of it, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to deal with this stuff. I mean, there's a lot more water and all that crap. But once you start doing it, it's so easy. I mean,
Isn't it though? I was going to ask. You're comparing copiers to water dispensers. Again, I don't know, but I'm just guessing that there's 50,000 moving parts in a copier with electricity, heat, and pressure. The water, right? I mean,
right? It's water, and you got solenoids, and I mean, you got coolers inside or heaters. That's basically. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty basic. One main board runs everything. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I'll say this, Earl. You at those percentages, and just to contrast with how should I say this? The more learned and wisdomed organizations that went for IT services.
Yep.
They're still struggling to get over 30% of their revenue from IT services.
100%.
That's like 5 years, 7 years in.
So we're in dealer helping dealers with BTA and Pro Dealer Group. You know, we in both of the meetings. We
Oh,
talked to these
okay,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, so we talked to these guys, and there was one of them just it's been a few weeks ago. He's like, we've been doing IT for 7 years, and we're finally breaking even. I'm going, what? I'm like, and then everybody keeps asking, "Are you getting into IT?" I'm like, no. And I'm not doing. I mean, we do,
Run, don't.
on a small basis, like for customers that don't have IT, but this managed IT, I mean, I've not talked to anybody, even the high end guys, that are doing just great. I mean, they're doing just wonderful with it. I
It
mean,
always had a shelf life.
yeah,
From the very beginning. And I mean, I was one of the proponents early, said, listen, if you can do MPS, you can do managed IT. But it isn't you're going to do managed IT for 10 years. There's
right,
no way. There's just no way. Especially,
yeah,
and that was before this whole thing with COVID and AI.
yeah.
I feel bad for the guys who built their own Knox.
Oh
Well,
man,
uh,
yeah,
hopefully they got it funded from someone else, because if they self-funded, they're
yeah,
on the hook.
yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah,
We,
yeah.
we,
With the AI, that's something that we're starting to run with more right now. Getting more into hit. And I was joking with them, some guys the other day. My youngest being I'm talking about, he's actually a biomedical engineer. Um, so yeah, so it's kind of funny. We laughed, and so he thrives on this stuff. Like learn. I mean, so when he was in
Mhm.
college doing robotics, they were doing. So he was real interested in the call you guys done, because he was building the robots and doing that part of it in college. And so the AI learning and different things like that. So that's something he was real interested in. And that's something that he's really pushing, leaning toward the robotics and the AI side. That's something he really wants to like learn more about as his future kind of goes on. But he's finding out that these people out there want to use AI, ChatGPT, whatever, but they don't know how. So he's like coming up with, I'm going to create this. I went, that's what all these guys are doing, Ben. I said, and people will pay you to come show them how to use it. I mean, but he's already created. I don't know if you follow him on LinkedIn right there, but
I
the
do.
board, yeah. So he created his own board, a board of directors and everything with
oh,
AI, and everything. He's been posting about it here lately and stuff like that. It's crazy. So he's been showing me like everything he's doing. He's got his own board of directors on how to do things and all this stuff.
did he create? Are those real board of directors? Not real. Are they AI board of directors?
AI board of directors.
I knew it. Yes. I mean, well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I've seen some of his threads recently
yeah.
using AI, and Greg and I were just talking about that. Recently, I've seen more salespeople actually getting using AI to improve their LinkedIn threads.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so
Wow.
he loves that side of the business, so it's kind of cool with that. And Corey, my other son's like that, is like his mommy. He's a hardcore salesperson. We need to close 10 machines this week. Corey gets out and finds the deals and gets. I mean,
Gets
he'll
it
walk
done.
in just like, what's going to get signed the deal today? He'll hand them the paper and ink pen and just like here. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it's just funny, but just watching both of them how they've grown in the business and how we go with it. So. Um, Ben's
Well, that
going.
is so cool to hear. Seriously, that's really cool. And forgive me if I've known and forgotten. You have how many locations do you have? Do you have one location
We
or?
have two locations. We have London and Lexington, Kentucky. So we're still one. I mean, one location we say, but so with we were doing 33 counties with Conica, Minolta in Kentucky. We went with Caton. We went to 67 counties in
Wow.
Kentucky and 5 in Tennessee.
Okay. So what does that mean? You doubled your coverage is
Yeah, so
right?
we're double the coverage. So we went from, like I said, being authorized, which
Okay.
With Conica's new contract, there is no territories no more. Part of it, which is interesting for us, because we have Marco on this side and Dex on this side of us. So
Wild. Love it.
we're right between both of them. So we're kind of just interested with that, but again, it's kind of funny to us. We compete against these guys all the time already, and I mean, we beat them
Mhm.
9 out of 10 times because they people want to deal with local. I've heard
Yeah.
Art say it so many different times like that. I mean,
That brings up a whole nother subject. Especially, I'm glad so you're right in the middle of two megas.
yeah,
What do you think about those? I mean, take out the competition side. I understand that, but in general, from a business standpoint, are they sustainable for the next 5 to 10 years
I don't
as they
think
are
so.
today?
I don't think so.
don't think so.
I don't know if they're, I don't know what their plan. I mean, most of these guys, they're building up to me is to, I don't know, to do something different. Sale. I don't know what they're. I mean, I really don't. I mean,
No
I
idea.
you can't keep going in at some of the stuff that they're doing. I mean, now the up and down the street stuff, which is what probably 20 copiers and less. That's where we're the strong. I mean, we can
Right.
beat most people. You get these big bids. My boys have found out the hard way. Renee and I quit doing bids a long time ago just because it ain't worth it. I mean, there's no money in it.
The one who wins the bid is the one who wrote the bid.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And so Renee's told both boys that over and over and over. And it was so funny. So they've got into some bids here lately, and we're like, go for it. Right, do them. And finally the other day they had their sales meeting and they're like, we're not doing any more of these bids. There are a lot of time, a lot of and we laughed and we're like, we told you. I mean, it's just, but they're Toshiba won bid, which they win a lot of them in our area. Toshiba does 0.0029 service.
On
Oh,
an A3, not production.
no, not production, just an
Yeah,
A3.
A3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. I don't even know how they're buying the toner for that. I mean, 0.0029.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, we
Yeah.
all see Toshiba too. I mean, I laugh all the time. I said, you can fix Toshiba, quit giving away service. You know.
Yeah.
Right. I recently
Wow.
had, I've got megas all over me. I've got Marco. I've got Atlantic. I don't know if you've heard of Atlantic out of Manhattan. Who else do we have? UBEO moved into our
Oh.
area. Xerox, which, so Xerox bought a bunch of dealers, right?
Mhm.
But they're doing it through their, I forget the name of it, what
Right.
they called it.
I forget too.
Yeah, I forget too. But anyway, just in the last couple of days, I had 2 calls I picked up from my Jersey plotter site for KIP service. And both of them had complaints that Xerox was no longer able to fix their KIP machines.
Hmm.
And these are the big C660, C740s, which are $25,000 to $30,000 machines.
Yeah.
So, that goes to the point that a lot of these megas will bite off more than that they can chew. And yeah, they can have very good pricing, but their support and service is in the dumps.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, not, and you guys may be friends with Dex and them. I don't, say nothing wrong, but, and they're good guys. I mean, I know them. I mean,
the people fine.
the people ain't nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's just how they do business is what, they came in, they're buying these small dealers up. Then all of a sudden, this small dealer always, if they ran out of toner, they was running it to them. You know what I mean? Just like the girl said there a minute ago, running customers out of toner, you're going to run it to them on Friday evening. Well,
Yep.
if you want it faster, they're shipping it to them, charge them for every shipping of toner. If you want it faster, they're charging you overnight shipping, which is $30-$40 to ship it. And people's like, I'm right down the road from your place. They don't understand it's not coming from the little local place no more. It's coming 3 states away.
That's correct.
And so we've won a couple of our small school dealerships. I mean, that we've had in our area because they had them, and they're like, we're ready to get away from this. We're wanting to get it. So we've had them, like you said, getting a call. They're reaching out to us. Can you guys give us a quote on copiers? And we're like, well, yeah.
This is kind of parallel to what we were talking about earlier about the bourbon industry.
Yep.
Seriously, you have the big guys who are really trying. They expanded beyond, they've got so many barrels in storage right now. There's no way that they can sell it at today's prices in the next 3 to 5 years. It's just too much of it. But then, like I said earlier, the local guys are hunkering down. Say, listen, we'll handle 5 or 6 or 7 counties. We're good. We'll stay within the state of Wisconsin. We're good because people like that, right? And the same, it's aligned with, it's parallel to what your argument's been or just said. And you know what? In our industry, that's always been true. The freaking OEMs have always been, direct sales. Okay, yeah, it's cheaper as hell. They win the deal, but God, their stuff sucks.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, that's always been that way.
Yep.
Very, very interesting. So I mean, when our industry's gone through so much consolidation, so you got the Dexes, the POAs, the big guys who have, coalesced a bunch of little dudes. Their idea back then was, okay, we're going to build this machine and then we're going to sell it off.
Mm-hmm.
We're past the 5 year, 7 year, we're going to sell it off side.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I mean, which
I don't know what they're gonna do. Right.
yeah, Dex is saying. I mean, they keep talking. They're going nationwide. I mean, they're just now. I mean, they're just going, and I'm going okay. Like, what's the end game? That's why I'm always like, what's your end game
Yeah.
here? I
Well,
mean, you just
Good
got,
point.
years ago, the end game was that a manufacturer would buy them, but
right.
in the last 4 years, manufacturers have said we're shedding
They
our
can't
direct
afford their own
our direct
employees. They're not gonna
salespeople. We're
expand.
we're
Yeah,
we're
right.
selling those locations because
Yep.
we can't deal with it anymore, and we don't have the people to manage it, and we're doing a crappy job at managing it.
That's right. Because it was the Icon Rico model.
Rico sold off, Konica Minolta sold off,
Yep.
Xerox sold off dealers.
So what they, so the big, so this is it. So the big guys, not the big guys. So Icon was the model.
Yeah.
Right. Icon got
Yep.
all these little dealers. A
Oh, yeah.
super huge network got bought by Rico. Oh, let's do the same thing. Let's get big and maybe Xerox will buy us. Let's get big and maybe the HP. Well, no, because Xerox almost went out of business. HP is split in 3 different times.
Mhm.
Konica Minolta, if you look at the OEMs, they're not going to buy a huge. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And like you said, most of them just sold off all their direct sales.
Mhm.
They sold off that stuff.
Yep, they're keeping their majors, which are healthcare and maybe some government
Their transaction,
larger government cities
They're 3 point
and production.
margins or whatever. Yeah, they're
Yep.
going to hold on
Yeah,
to
the
that.
production. This is why I was getting ready to say, Art. Konica's really pushing, their production side. I mean, that's what they're
That's all they got
pushing.
left.
Yep.
That's all they got
And
left.
that's something we got out of the production side of it. It's almost funny. I mean, we tried it, and unless you're going wide open at it, full blast, you can't make money at it. You can't go put a few machines here and there and make money at it. I mean, because there's supplies and parts and things you got to
Right.
keep up with. And we had just a handful of production stuff out, and it was just costing us. I mean, so finally we just, like I said, we found our sweet spot, and that's what we've been running with. I mean, our A4 has grew like crazy. I mean, our small stuff,
That's
that market took off. I mean, nuts. I mean, because used to you sold against it. Hey, let me put this one copier in, get rid of these 5 printers. Well, now you can go ahead and put one copier and 5 printers. And you're
yeah, it's weird.
yeah. So
Hey, Earl, I didn't realize it was 5 after 5.
yeah.
Yeah, we run our meetings
I got a
till
jet, but yeah.
5. Earl, you're
Yeah.
welcome anytime on the show.
Yeah.
I'll send you
you,
invites.
Earl.
We
Yeah.
do this weekly at 4 p.m. If your sons want to jump on, we'd love to have them on the
Oh, yeah.
show too.
Yeah, we'll try to make plans on it. Maybe all of us getting on there and stuff like that. Yeah, that's usually by the time 4 o'clock gets there, we're ready to cool down anyway. The day was a little bit long, but
Right. Tell them to light a cigar and have a bourbon and chat along with us. And we do a lot of chats about AI as well and how I'm using AI. And you guys might be able to learn something from me, and I might be able to learn something from them. It's
Okay.
it's all about sharing, right?
sounds great, guys. Hey,
So I'm
guys,
going
have a
to
great
close.
week.
I'm going to close the show. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today. I want to thank Earl for joining us and Greg. And we'll be on next week at 4 p.m. And please like, follow, and share. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, guys.